Hello, everybody. This is Seth Endicott, Assistant Director at the Center for Student Achievement here at Salisbury University. And today I wanted to discuss learning strategies for you to use in order to be successful with your distance learning. So today's objectives are to discuss the differences between how you're going to learn and study in your online courses compared to the traditional face-to-face classroom, as well as discussing 10 best practices that you can use in order to be successful in your classes. So how is this going to look different for you? Now that all courses are online for the foreseeable future, what does that mean for you with regards to how you're going to attack each class? There's not a lot of difference between traditional courses and online courses, outside of the fact that you're not there in person anymore. You're watching a video or accessing resources online. But the biggest contrast is flexibility. The good thing with online classes is it allows for greater flexibility. If you're working and you need to look at content later, you can do that. You have the flexibility to do that. However, with that flexibility comes a greater sense of accountability, and it takes a lot more work to take advantage of this flexibility. So more self-direction is going to be needed from you with regards to getting assignments done. There's going to be a higher level of interaction between you, faculty, and classmates, and you have to be more organized in order to take advantage of the flexibility you're given so that you can set yourself up for success. So going into 10 tips in order to succeed in your online courses, the first one is to treat these online courses like your job, or even better, treat them like a real course, which they are. A lot of people mistaken online courses for being easier and that you don't have to do as much to be successful, but it's quite the contrary. You actually have to do more in your online classes and put more work and effort in order to ensure your success. Making sure you have goals every day for each class on what you want to get done and what you want to learn is really important into keeping yourself accountable. And just like you would in a job, each day if you went to work, you have tasks that need to be done, and there might be certain things you need to learn every day in order to be successful on the job. No different here in the online classroom. So just remember that being productive every day and being accountable, making sure you're getting things done every day, will help you be successful in these online courses. The second part is really key here with organization. The second tip, you need to stick to a schedule. Courses without as much routine, maybe you don't have a set time you have to go to class now for some of your courses, makes you have to be more organized in order to get work done efficiently in that class. Putting together a schedule. One thing you may want to do before online courses get in full swing here is go class by class, set up your week on whether it's a Google Calendar, Evernote, or an online app, or even an in-person planner or calendar. Designate study blocks or times you're going to work on each class. Some of you may not need too much self-direction. You could just say from 10 to 2 every day on your schedule, you're doing coursework. Some of you may have to break it down. From 10 to 11, I'm doing chemistry. 11 to 12, I'm doing English. From 12:30 to 2, I'm doing math. And some might need to be even more specific than that in order to follow through. You may say on Mondays, I'm doing chemistry, watching the lecture and reviewing the PowerPoint. On Tuesday, I'm starting the homework assignment. On Wednesday, I'm studying for the quiz. On Thursday, I'm watching the lecture and taking the quiz. So, and doing that for each class on each time block might help you as well. But do not try to put a schedule in your head and follow through with this. Make sure there's a schedule you write before the week and on paper or on the computer or phone that you can refer to and keep yourself on task and accountable. Also, make sure you put all long-term assignments in and tests and major deadlines into your calendar or whatever you're going to use to keep track of your time and assignments. Put it in now. You don't want those big assignments or tests to creep up on you, and the day before the test, you just realize you have a test because you haven't been following through with the planner. So to stay in somewhat of a routine, make sure you keep a planner. If you do have classes at that certain time, maybe your chemistry lecture is going on as normal, just online, then put that on your schedule so you know to follow through with that and stick to your schedule rigidly. If you have a lecture at 9 o'clock, don't be late for the lecture. If you say you're going to start with your math homework at 12:30, make sure you don't start at 12:45. Stick rigidly with your schedule, and it'll help you get done with your coursework more efficiently. So the next slide here is define a study space. So where and when you study is really important. And I'll talk about the where first. Create a study space, whether it's somewhere in your house that you can be productive. It could be a kitchen table, it could be a desk in your bedroom, it could be an office room, whatever it might be, that you have access to everything and you're not going to be distracted. You want to have a table big enough to where you can have online access, you can have your textbook, you can have room to take notes, and good lighting. If you don't have a space at home like this, find a local place that's open. Maybe it's a library, maybe a coffee shop or something is open that you can set up shop and study. Having a location to study and to go to every day will help you stay in a routine, and you'll get used to when you sit at that certain location that you're going to be productive. Now, if, for example, you're studying in the kitchen every day, but somebody's working on your kitchen one day, or you have people home that day and they're going to be in the kitchen in and out all day, make sure you have a backup location, whether it's at home or elsewhere. Make sure you have a second location in case you're starting the day and you're not being very productive. You don't waste too much time. Having that backup space is really important. The where is also important the when you study. If you don't have to be at a lecture at a certain time, it's important to pick times of day when you're most productive to study or to do homework. If you're a night person, you don't need to try to study at 10 o'clock in the morning. Study after dinner. If you're a morning person or just need to stay on a routine, a regular class routine, then stick to that time. If you don't know how to structure a schedule for getting your work done, when and where you're going to get it done, then just stick with all your class times. However, you're going to need to budget in extra time for each class because of the online component and the self-learning component. It's going to take you longer to self-learn, which you'll be doing a lot of self-learning in an online setting than it would in a face-to-face setting. Kind of going back to the prior slide, distractions. We talked about maybe people being in as a distraction, but also technology is a big distraction. If you're at home, you may have TV, you may have people, other things going on, but technology is usually a big distraction for many people. Maybe you're addicted to your phone. Maybe it's YouTube videos or Instagram or something like that. Make sure when you study, you're fully focused on just studying or just doing your homework or just watching the lecture. If you can eliminate these distractions, it's going to help you get your assignments and tasks done more efficiently, and it's also going to help you understand your assignments better because your mind's in one place. Uh, if you have to put your phone away or turn it off or put it in airplane mode or on silent, then do that. Uh, let your social network know from 11 to 1 and 5 to 7, I'm studying every day. I have schoolwork I have to do. The people in your social network, if they know this, more than likely they're not going to be bothering you during these times. So set clear expectations early on with people on that. And also with the technology part, maybe you try to study and you just can't help but opening up another window to check your email or your Instagram or whatever it might be. There are apps that can help you stay away from these distractions. Cold Turkey and Freedom are two apps. And later videos that we will be sending out in the next few weeks from the CSA, we're going to get into more specific uh, strategies, such as how to set up your Cold Turkey app to make sure you're not distracted when you're studying. But set something up that will block you from these sites during that time. Also, to take time for technology breaks. Maybe you all were used to checking your phone every 5 minutes. We'll try to study 45 minutes and take a 10-minute break. The breaks will be something for you to look forward to. It'll be a set time that you can check your technology, and it'll keep you on task. Most things can wait 45 minutes. If you don't check your phone for 45 minutes, the world is probably going to still be very similar than it was right now. So make sure you have the discipline to set time for technology breaks, but also that your breaks are short enough that you can get back on task. This one, number 5, is really, really important. So in online classes, it's even more important to be an active participant than it would be in an in-person class. Watching a video lecture online or reading through a PowerPoint online is going to be hard for you to stay engaged and to remember the material if you're not actively following along with it. Write questions down, take notes. There are apps that you can take notes online or type notes while you're listening to these videos or looking at your PowerPoints or whatever it might be. The more active you are while you're participating, the more likely that material is going to stick. Also, reading same strategies. Online, there's a lot of digital readings you'll be doing. If you just scroll down the page and read passively, chances are you're not going to remember much of what you read. So there are apps like Adobe Reader to where they have editing tools to where you can read and edit. At the same time, also could be a future video. You can take notes on the computer or on paper, but make sure you're being active in how you're participating in this class. Same thing with study strategies. Study for your test, trying out math problems. Maybe the problems are listed online, but write them out and then try to walk through them verbally and solve them. Try similar problems. Try presenting material to yourself or to classmates via Zoom. You can also try flashcards, Zoom, or excuse me, not Zoom, Quizlet, flashcards. There's Kahoot. There's several different study apps that you can use in order to quiz yourself. But the key is to not try to read and remember things based off of recognition. You want to be able to recall and understand and apply material. And doing that, you're going to have to actively participate. Sixth slide here, sixth tip, asking questions proactively. Communication now with your professor is more important than ever. So if there's a point of a lecture you get stuck on, or there's an assignment uh, or a problem you're not understanding, make sure you ask these questions right away. Don't wait until the test is coming up to start asking questions about your assignments. The professor's here to help. Send an email. If they don't respond, we'll talk about. There's people in your class you can ask to help. Uh, we have, or you have, other out of class resources you can use. So just make sure when you are confused, or maybe it's a video lecture and you can type in the chat box, make sure you ask those questions so you can get your questions get your questions answered and your understanding solidified, and that'll help you keep up and stay current with the course content. And it's also easier to do than, maybe you're a quieter person and you don't like asking questions in front of people. It's a lot easier to type and ask your questions than it is to raise your hand in front of a bunch of people. So make sure you're communicating with your professors. Make sure they know who you are. Right? In an online setting, it's even easier for them to just think you might be student X or a number. So make sure you're asking a lot of questions, you're interacting with them regularly, so that they know that you care and that they know that you're trying to be successful in this class. 7th tip, logging into My Classes every day. Some of you may have already been doing this in your face-to-face classes, but there's going to be changes with each course. Even if you don't have a lecture that day or a particular assignment, I would log in once a day to every one of your courses via My Classes. Professors may change dates on assignments. There may be new directions for assignments. There may be new material that they're putting in. They're in the same situation as you are, that now they're trying to put all their course online. So they may not get all of that stuff done this week. They may be adding as they go along. So make sure that you're checking in each day in My Classes to stay updated. 8th tip kind of goes with My Classes, but your syllabus. Make sure whether you have it on paper or it's in My Classes, make sure you're checking your syllabus regularly. Professors, most will give you the due dates to assignments, but some might not. They might give you lectures, they may give you PowerPoints and study tips and tools, but they may not tell you when your small homework assignments are due. So make sure you're looking at your syllabus regularly and you're reaching out to your professor to get clarification on expectations for assignments and due dates for assignments. This will help you make sure that you're completing all of your work on time and staying on pace with the course. 9th tip, forming a study group with classmates. One really cool thing the Navigate app does here on Salisbury is allows you to join a study group called Study Buddies with your classmates. I'll show you just in a second here kind of how you can do that. If you go into Navigate, this is for another school, but same rules apply. Just type in Salisbury University. It'll bring up a place to enter your regular user and password in that you use for all your SU accounts. It'll welcome you. The Navigate main page here, you can scroll down to under Explore, and there'll be a link for you to click on that says Study Buddies. Click on that link, and you'll see all your classes populate. Once you see that, you can choose which or all classes that you want to form study buddies with, have a study group with. So click the class. You may have to go one at a time, but click one of the classes. From there, it's going to ask you, is it okay if your email address is available here for students to reach out to you? Click yes if so. You may see a list of names already. Once you're enrolled in the study buddies, that means you already have people you can reach out to in that class. If you're the first person here, there may not be any names, but once people start downloading or signing into the app, you're going to see names populate and they'll reach out to you or you can reach out to them. And then you can discuss course material. You can discuss how you're navigating this course online, and you can make arrangements to set up a study group, whether it's via Zoom or Skype or whatever it might be. So a really valuable tool here to use, very easy to set up for you, something you should definitely take advantage of. And then the last tip is just strategies here are using resources to succeed. Use all your course resources. I will share this PowerPoint with you later, but on these slides we have links to tutoring. The schedule is going to remain the same for it, except all the sessions will be by appointment via Zoom. In order to book an appointment, just go to tutor.salisbury.edu. You'll see the schedule here that I'll pull up. And whatever the name of your tutor is you want to see, you would just click their name on the side tab in Tutor Track and schedule a time when they're available. Their availability is still going to be the same time. The schedule's not changing, and you can sign up for a half-hour appointment there. And then they will send you a link for Zoom. Math Emporium's math tutoring, same thing. They have a schedule here. A supplemental instruction, your leader will be sending you a link to their sessions via Zoom. Those sessions as of now are going on the same time as scheduled. If there are changes to the schedule, your leader will let you know. Academic success coaching is a big one. If you need time management help, note taking, you want to put together a study plan, if you want to learn digital reading strategies, or if you want to learn how to set up a Quizlet or some online resource, or if you just have questions about how to learn online, please you send me an email at saendicott@salisbury.edu, or you can schedule an appointment via your Navigate. You can click Navigate and reason for your appointment, academic success coaching. You can pick a time and day when you want it, and then see who's available at that time. But if you want to set up an appointment, either email me or go in and book that through the Navigate app. Writing Center, they also have online consultations. The link here has step-by-step how to set those up if you need help with a paper. And then your library too. Definitely don't forget to use your resources from the library. Maybe your computer doesn't have all the resources that you need, or you're searching for a paper and you need an academic database. Use the library's resources. This also doesn't include outside of course resources, outside of university resources. Google. If you don't understand something, you can always go to Google, or you could go to Khan Academy if you want to watch a video in history or chemistry. There's a site for free online textbooks called OpenStax, OPENSTAX.com. There's Quizlet. So definitely use your out-of-class resources more than you normally would in a in-person class, because it's going to help you self-learn the material. But outside of that, that's all I have for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me here. My email is right on the screen. Or if you're interested in success coaching, academic success coaching, or have questions with tutoring, supplemental instruction, or online learning strategies and general learning to be successful in online courses, please call the CSA at 410-677-4865. Good luck this semester, the rest of this semester, and please make sure to be proactive and reach out when you need the help. Thanks a lot.